Hello, everyone. New people joining. Hello, Marco. Hello, Sandhya.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Daniel. Thank you for turning on your videos. We appreciate it. It's always great.
That's a lot of people, let me tell you.
Always great to see faces.
Can you please write to us in the chat, where are you tuning from? Which country?
Oh, yeah, this is a good idea.
To see if someone...
I will take
Warsaw, Lithuania. I was in Lithuania. Yeah. Portugal. Portugal. Would be nice to have some sun.
We have record number of participants, so I'm still admitting new.
We have UAE and Australia. It's a United Nation for games.
Robert.
All around the
Turkey,
world.
India, let's go.
Guys.
Turkey, the best food in the world. Sweden, we do good semla.
No controversial topics, Ali.
Food is controversial, I agree.
Yeah. We have Italian students, on site. So. Still admitting people, so let's wait a second.
Thailand, France, nice Olympic, Pakistan, wow. Norway, expensive, but beautiful.
Been there.
We have been there. Holland, Netherlands. Oh, we have someone from outer space, from Jupiter. Oh. Wow. So area, what was the area name? 147 in the US? It's confirmed. I don't remember the name. Anyone knows what's the area name in US where they hide the aliens? 51. Thank you, guys. So the first outcome from this webinar, that area 51 confirmed.
Guys, it's crazy, but I'm still admitting dozens of people here. So let's wait a second for them.
Yeah, let's give them a moment. We also have the representative of Nice City.
Oh,
I just saw that. That's nice. A lot of gamers, a lot of passionate about the gaming industry.
Okay, it looks like the rush hour is over on the chat and in the waiting room. Okay, I think we can start. Ali, may I ask you to do the honors and admit people?
Roger that.
Admit all, just push the button. For those of you who joined us a bit later, a big ask, if you can turn on your cameras, we will appreciate it. It's really rewarding to talk to faces, not to squares. And let me start with my presentation. Okay, can you see it? PowerPoint. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, welcome to the next webinar by Futuregames Warsaw and CD Projekt Red, joint forces. Today we have Anna Kalinowska, producer from CD Projekt, with us as a special guest. And your host will be Ali Farha, StarStable senior producer and the head of newly launched this September, this will be launched this September, game producer course. And my name is Piotr Matecki. I'm the head of Futuregames Warsaw and business developer here and responsible for establishing Futuregames in Warsaw. And we have 20 years history in Sweden. This is the first time when we entered such an amazing partnership with AAA Studio in Poland with CD Projekt, and CD Projekt is supporting us in development of the school in Poland. We are strategic partners. Sorry, I'm not allowing anyone recording because we are recording it ourselves and we will be sharing this. I just got this notice. So no worries, whoever is late or will have to leave, this will be shared on our social media. So strategic partners with CD Projekt Red. In a minute, I will cover what it means for our students. Right now, let me just quickly take you through our journey here in Poland. 20 years of history in Sweden. We just opened the 6th school. We are also opening in the north of Norway. So let's say we are the leading educational force in Scandinavia. Ali is with us for many years as a member of the board, educational board, advisory board in Futuregames, hence our connection is also. And last September, new baby was born, Warsaw, with game artist, game designer, and game programmer, 3 courses, 3 educations. We run 2.5-year courses in all of these fields. And now to the nitty-gritty of the course. It's all about students. We communicate with the students. We focus on the students. We do it in a very personalized way. And our goal here in school is to land a job to our students. We are we have students from literally all continents right now. Even the last one from Australia applied recently. So we have a really interesting gang of people here. We started last year with 40 of them from Portugal, Greece, Turkey, Mexico, India, Indonesia, and right now we just broadened this scope. These people were early adopters who trusted us last year, and the reward for them was to really start a very intensive journey towards their game dev career. And our school is located in CD Projekt campus. And here is what happened since they joined us on these 3 courses: in game artist, game designer, and game programmer. So it's just we can say 10 months, 11 months, but they progressed rapidly. We started with team building activities. We put a lot of focus on soft skills and team building and becoming a team player. This is the main reason behind school being on site. We want people to relocate, even if you are from Mexico or India. We ask you to come over here and work with people on a daily basis, have coffee with them, play with them games with them. The first course is creating card games and board games. And this is the first experience when people team up and create something together. And this is the finish of this 3 weeks course is pitching the games. So you also relieve this stress situation where you have to pitch. A lot of experts coming over as our neighbor is CDPR. So we have experts from CDPR basically coming over bi-weekly, visiting us and attending our, as Anna is today here, our webinars, but we also have access to basically different AAA, AA, and indie studios in Poland. And we are intensively building these connections for our students so that they can meet designers, artists, programmers, HR people, recruiters, basically weekly in school premises. We also attend game dev events. This is from Game Industry Conference in Poznań, really formative experience for students going there as one team, prepared, with a clear brief to gain as much knowledge and build as much network as possible. We were visible. Recruiters noticed our presence there. This is all building towards your future employment. So we start from very early days to build personal brands of our students and to allow and ask actively students to use Futuregames brand as a leverage. A lot of experience meeting with organizations, workshops, meeting with different experts. And I would say the routing, the main thing for this, which is distinguishing for this course, is creating our own games. We team up students in teams of 12, 14 people, give them theme, give them tools, and they create 4 games during the course. This whole process is finished with the pitch presenting to representatives of the industry. So there are 4 games, 2 being created in Unity, 2 in Unreal. These are periods when we basically turn into indie game dev studio with 10 teams on board. It's 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 7 weeks, and 9 weeks. People, as I said, it's 12 to 14 people, artists, designers, programmers, QAs. Very often these are projects cross-site with Malmo or Stockholm or Boden, so our schools in Sweden. We test the games. We invite high school students just to be merciless and, you know, find all the weaknesses, weak spots, and also for our student to experience what it means to get this, you know, crushing critics. It's on purpose, not done by your colleagues. It's done by high school students who play games on daily basis, and they are really good testers, believe me, and they have good eye. So again, each process of creating the game, and our students who started in September right now finished in June their third game project in Unreal 5. So the end of this process is pitching day to representatives of game dev industry from Poland, and also representative of venture capital who's in pursuit of titles of the games who they can support and publish. So we are actively advocating for our students, trying to push you towards career, whatever it will be, whether it will be a position at CDPR or, you know, opening your own indie studio with 4 colleagues. Activision, People Can Fly, experts were on the jury of the last game project. Digital Dragons, one of the biggest conferences in Europe. We were there making connections with Alarion, Activision. So yeah, we are not only, you know, CDPR school. We are here for the whole industry, and we are grateful also to CDPR for having this mature attitude and supporting us in expanding to other connections. Here's the recruiter from Larian, by the way. It's very informal situations, which you don't often experience when you have online courses. Here's the visit of the whole team from CDPR who attended Digital Dragons. So ongoing support from the studio for us. We also run advisory board, as I mentioned before. Ali is a part of it in Sweden, but we also open advisory board in Poland, where we have around 14 different game studios and organizations representatives. And the whole goal of this advisory board is to keep our curriculum up to date and ask actively how should we tweak it and how should we develop our offer. And basically, game producer course, we will jump into just in a second. I'm about to finish, is the result of the meeting of the first advisory board in Warsaw in November. We heard like a clear go from CDPR and from different companies. Yes, we need well-trained game producers. We need a good education in this field. We need to, you know, this knowledge to stream and to circulate. So we added to our curriculum game producer course. This is 1.5 years. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, but very flexible formula. So it's practically hybrid, but it's very good for attendees to be on site and build connections and network with other students. And during this course, Ali will cover this in the details in a second. And just make a broad strokes here. CDPR being our strategic partner, what it means in addition. First of all, we are a part of CD Projekt campus. Right now, we have relocated to a new building, increasing our space, as we will add 90 new students to already existing 40. I hope after this webinar, it will be 95. This building, we have the second floor here. So this is the school in Warsaw. We managed to lower tuition thanks to support from CDPR. So from 23K on this game artist, game designer, game programmer course, we went down to 12,900 for the whole period. It's total for 2.5 years. Game producer is a year and a half, and it's 7,740 euro. There will be 6 scholarships, up to 6 scholarships funded by CDPR to the best performing students of art, design, and programming. So these lucky people will get 1 year of their course funded by the studio. Experts from the CDPR, as I said, are actively participating, will be actively participating from this year in our curriculum. And of course, on the horizon, there is internship at CDPR somewhere for some people who will be handpicked by people like Anna, for example, right? Anna will pick some of the producers to join her team. Guys, if you have any comments, any questions, you just please email me, join at futuregames.se. If you want to apply, just send your portfolio, CV, cover letter. We keep it extremely simple. You just need to speak English, you know, in a communicative way and have some kind of basics within one of these fields. Again, I invite you also to contact me, reach out over LinkedIn, and yeah, success stories. I will leave the stage right now to Ali, who has a good presentation. I will send you this presentation, which I have just showed on chat. It's just one success story I wanted to mention is probably you know Hazelight, you know Josef Fares. This is the company which was created by alumni of Futuregames in Sweden. So this is our very spectacular success story. There's many more of them, and I hope there will be one slide about the game producer course in 1 year time, also about the success story. Okay, enough me talking. I will pass the mic right now to Ali.
Hello.
Who will be joining us from September.
Every time you fool me and say rush hour is over, admit people, I could skip gym for 2 days now. I've been just clicking admit the whole time, and we are 412.
This is amazing.
That's insane. I feel like streamer now. I mean, small one.
Play the game.
Perfect. So hopefully see my screen by now. Let's see if this is working. Perfect. So before diving a bit of the course, I'll just chat so you guys, you know, who am I, why I'm excited about this course, and we will be your host for today. So the agenda will be 30 minutes, quick introduction about the producer and my story and how I end up leading this course, and our star guest for this episode with Anna. We're going to be chatting a lot about production and producer. And in the last half an hour, you will have the chance to ask whatever you want for both of us. If you have any questions, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of them. Perfect. So how to become a game producer? Producer's cut from my point of view as a producer. Before talking about this this is the boring slide. I'm a senior producer at StarStable Entertainment, which is MMO game for girls. We have been around for 12 years and a half. Yes, we still life and kicking for 12 years and a half. I'm head of the producer education, and I help the school in Sweden. This is not working, sadly, the clicker, because I would love to use my hand too. So the journey to the gaming industry. So how I end up in the gaming industry from dreams to reality, which is applied to majority of you, if you're watching, if you're dreaming about the gaming industry. And it started like this, me shocked that you can work in the gaming industry. I always worked in the gaming industry or like played games, but never crossed my mind that, you know what, I can work in the gaming industry. I was just looking at jobs in Sweden, and you know, in Stockholm, we have multiple gaming studios. So I saw like, wait a second. So I can work in the gaming studios. I swear, this is never came across. I was just end user consumer. And that was the breaking point from me considering joining the gaming industry. And that was me, the sad guy watching people enjoying the gaming industry and merchandise. But I'm just not there yet. So that's the journey where I started to join the gaming industry. I was reading job ads in bed every night for weeks. Just read job ads to understand what roles, what they name the roles, what kind of skill set they look for. And this is my first tip for you. In the gaming industry, we have a different naming convention for roles that could be for you already, even though you work in a bank or automotive or whatever. Project manager, we call it producer, development manager, depends. So names looks different. So the first tip, if you want to break to the gaming industry to any role, is read job ads and try to classify what skills do you have that you can transfer and what skills that you don't have you need to build. So this is the first strategy if you're gonna break in. As soon as I did that, I realized, you know what, I never made a game. So it makes sense for me to start in basics in game design. So I made half-year game design in my own time and made my first game, Pillow Rush. I love shooting games. And I said, I'm gonna make a game that it's calming. So I made a game that you shoot sheeps with pillows so they sleep. It's a cute game. So that was the first game I made myself. I'm really proud of it. And perfect. So I made a game. I know what skills I had to reinforce, check. Now I need to see how a gaming studio looks from inside. I don't know. So the gaming industry is quite locked, black box, and we try to change that. So the only trick for me to see how the studio looks like from inside, I applied for a play test because I was looking at the websites, reading job ads. So I saw that DICE looking for play testers. So I went in, I took the coffee mug with me. I still have it, by the way. I still have the coffee mug. This is from 2017, January. It's very old, and I still have the mug, and they don't have this edition anymore. Then I saw a guy wearing a t-shirt, screw everyone, and like, this kind of not like super casual. Like I said, you know what? This industry suits me. I believe I can strive in this industry. It's there where I made my mind that I'm going all in, joining the gaming industry. And I did, but it wasn't an easy journey. Trust me, took me 4 years, to be honest. 4 years. And I have a full talk. If you're interested, write to me on LinkedIn that you came from this webinar, and I will send you my talk that's showing the full blueprint how I made it to the gaming industry. So it was ups and downs. I did hurt my eyes twice in the process. And not recommended. Always be mindful to your limits. But what a game producer do? Now I'm a game producer, and now I need to explain to you. According to my family, if you go to my family right now and ask them what Ali does for a living, they will say, okay, we believe that he play games and they pay him a lot of money. So that's what my family think of a game producer, that I play games and they pay me really well. And I don't blame them. It's a kind of complicated role. Me and Anna just laughed because maybe the same for her. It's hard to explain what we do, but we're going to do our best to do that with you guys today. But am I going to give a straight answer? No, it's hard. I need to maneuver around what we do so I can give you a feeling. Let's see if I can manage. So it's going to be something like this, so bear with me. Let's discuss what is not a producer before we start to discuss what producer is. It's not a Jira guru. Jira is a software you manage softwares. There's multiple of them. There's Asana, but Jira is quite common. If you are really good in Jira, doesn't mean you're a good producer. So producer is not equal to Jira, Guru, and automation. You're not the communication hub, no. You're not the person is taking information from your team upwards or downstream. No, that's not your main job. You will do most of the things to the right except the therapist, but doesn't mean that's the role, the core of your role. That's not the case. You're not the team therapist. When you do meetings and it just people start to rant, that's nice. The team can express a lot of feelings, but it's not your job to solve their problem. They have a managers. They can do that unless your role say that you are their direct report. Like I said, you need to listen. You need to be mindful, but that's not the core of the job. And the last one, you're not the processes mastermind. It's like we do this planning, then after that we do this evaluation, then we revisit things. You will do a basis of each, but that's not the core. So what is the core of the game producer then if it's not these? Let me explain this. So this is the team that you're gonna be managing as a producer. So this is a team. And this is you, an amplifier. This is the producer. This is the team now. Same size, same working hours, but the outcome amplified because you just joined the team. But how that's possible? How one person can change the outcome of 10 people to be magnified by this amount? And this is what makes a good producer, in my opinion, making that happen. You're the one responsible of the vision and the strategy. You're the one. I keep saying we're time travelers. We always, on our day-to-day basis, we travel. We go in time. Like, I need to visit the future. I need to have the vision. What are we building? Go back to reality and put the strategy to take us there. And more importantly, explain that strategy to my team members. And this is what I say, vision and strategy. Stakeholder management, you have people expecting things from you, directors, executives, C-level, shareholders. So you need to manage all of them and manage the expectation. You need to coordinate, you need to communicate, you need to meet deadlines, you need to assure the quality. And this is the core of our responsibility as a producers. I'm not gonna dive much because I can speak about this for 1 hour and you don't want to, we need to chat with Anna and start to extract this kind of information, but producer lives in here. product manager, project manager, and product owner. Yes, they are different. I know they sound the same, but they are absolutely not the same. If you're really interested in this, I can make a on LinkedIn Live and I can explain this as much as you want. So imagine the producer is here. But what's the ratio? Depends on the company. As simple as that. Like some companies, you will leaning more to project manager rather than product manager. Some companies is absolutely mainly here, slightly here and here. Depends on the company and seniority level. Producer usually start their day by looking at KPIs, key performance indicators. How did we perform yesterday if you have a live game, or are we tracking on time, the quality, a lot of things. So you check the KPIs. You do stand-ups with your team, looks like this, and make sure that everyone know what to do, they're empowered, and they know the priority. And this is how you increase the maximize the outcome. Coordinating with executives. Mainly our job is communications. We go to meetings more than we should. Like, I mean, we know that like for us working at the office doesn't make any sense because we will like it makes sense, but it's the same working from home. We'll be in the meetings room the whole day, sadly. So yes, our job, there's a lot of meetings because it's a lot of coordination. Backlog, we need to make sure that we see what's being added, and we need to put priority, which one is more important, and value. So we do all of the things, and visiting the roadmap and maintaining it, because roadmap will change. And if you have done a good job, you sleep like this, which is great. And there's seasonal events, happens once a month, once a year. The roadmap planning happens once or twice a year, retrospective every sprint, planning every sprint as well. You expect the producer role is something like this. It's not. Half of the time you will be like this. But that's the beauty. Don't be scared. This is the fun part, that something we need to communicate, something is breaking in live, and everyone counting on you to make the right call. Like, hey, you stop working on this, focus on that one instead. And you will be arguing with stakeholders, but in a good way. Critical thinking is a big part of what we're doing. So if this is for you, you will make a good producer, because it's so fun. Don't be scared of this. I just want to share the nature of the role. It's not relaxing role. It's similar to this. But how to be a game producer, and this is the part that I want all of you to pay attention to. It is not straightforward. It's just weird for an industry being since 60 and 70 that we don't have a career path for a game producer. Even though this role is one of the key elements for success of the game, we are the one executing the vision from game directors and technical directors if it's technology. We are the one executing it. And I have alone in my teams are more than 25 people. If I do the wrong decisions, 25 people are building the wrong things. And that's why we end up with games that are not matching the expectations of the players and the community. But for such an important role, there is no clear career path. That's interesting. So how we can be a game producer? We switch roles, believe or not. You start somewhere and you show interest, or you show a soft skill that you might make a good producer, and you try it out. It happened with me. I'm not sure if it happened with Anna. We will know in a bit. But I know a lot of producers, they just started from game designer or QA. Or some of them, they're just lucky that they have a project management and they know agile methodology and they have a game experience, which make you a good producer. There's no education, there's no clear career path. So you cannot be a producer out of the bat, which is wild in my opinion. If you have a gaming experience, this applies. But what if I don't have a gaming experience and I want to land on a producer role? My friend, you need a lot of luck. You need every luck in the world to be able to land on a producer role out of the bat. It's super difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It is genuinely difficult, because we will value, or we prefer someone with the gaming experience and from a different role. You're coming from outside of the industry to producer. It's a bit difficult. And that's why, to be honest, this course do exist. It's first of its kind. A game producer course will be learning everything a producer should know for more than 1 year and a half. Practical, not theory, practical. Then that will be like when I see this course, I feel jealous that it didn't exist on my time, during my time, because this is a dream. Like, are you telling me I do 1.5 years and that will increase my chances to high level that I become a game producer? That's just insane. So that's why I'm so passionate about this course. And that's why I decided to share my journey, because it was tough. And after becoming a producer, because I used to be QA lead, by the way, if I can go back in time, I don't want to do anything else but game producer. I don't, this is what I want. That's it. So game producer course. Let me show you a sneak peek what we're gonna teach you in that course. Game dynamics. Let's say you absolutely have no idea what games mean, what game design document means as well. We will teach you everything. We're gonna spend 2 weeks just showing you how you, and we are discussing that make a small game even. We want you to get your hands dirty and understand when an artist say an estimation, you can tell it's actually not off from reality because you have done a small pieces of each of your craft that you're managing. We're going to give you all the tools and methodology you need to be a good producer. We're going to show you what Kanban means, what waterfall, what Scrum, and more importantly, how you can make the best that suits your team, not following one methodology by book. We need you to be as it should, like useful in production and reality, not something theory that when you go to reality is completely else. Game production. It's a bit interesting, like how you can be a game producer in theory and jump to make games. Doesn't make sense. It's, to be honest, if you look at it in a theory perspective, it's like a CEO schools. It doesn't work. Like you cannot make a CEO school. It comes because you have an experience. But this is exactly what we're doing. So in our courses, we're not going to be teaching you theory and gonna multiple choices. No, you're going to be building games. That's it. You're going to come to the school and just going to build game 2, 3. That's how you're going to be a producer. Producing 3 games minimum with a team around of 10. Is it 10 or more? Maybe Piotr can write in the chat, but you will be managing a team, cross-functional, artists, programmers, game designers, all the crafts you need to build a game, and you'll be the producer, managing the vision, delivery, and quality. 1 game in Unity or 2 and 1 in Unreal. And because we want you to succeed despite the company, we're going to teach you product management, how to do market research, and how to do a user interviews, and a lot of things that doesn't fall under the game. Project management, leadership and communication, because this role is pure leadership. We need to make a good leaders. For the first time, I never saw a school in my life that teaches BI or business intelligence. How to read economical data about your game, about the onboarding, about the funnel, why the drops in here, are we doing good, are we doing bad? And the final project, we're gonna be assigned to make a comprehensive report as a producer and present it to me and the instructor. And the last one is LIA. I'm not gonna say what LIA is. If you're from Sweden, don't say anything. But who can be teaching you? Teachers, theory teachers? No, absolutely not. You will be learn from producers in the gaming industry, from producers at StarStable, at CD Projekt Red, at People Can Fly, at DICE, whatever. That's how Futuregames works. Our teachers are industry experts. So you're gonna be learn from the best, learn from the people who's doing the job at the moment. And as things develop and change, that will be reflected in the lectures. LIA is internship, 20 weeks at a gaming studio. Like, do you understand this? Like you will be 20 weeks spending and could be AAA studio working on one of the projects. Imagine the experience. Imagine when you write that on your resume, I've been at X company, 20 weeks internship working on X project. Plus making 3 games during your education. That's what makes a good producer. You have been working hands-on with teams and different teams in every project, 20 weeks in established companies. With all the knowledge that you gained during the theory or that like it's a product management, and you apply that in game production, and you apply that in game projects, and you apply that in your internship, we believe, and that's our goal, that you will be an ideal candidate to be the dream producer for every company out of the bat. Like they don't need to even spend time onboarding you for more than just a couple of things. Like this is the communication channel, this is the tools we're using, and that's it. Because Jira, whatever software, you have done it. You have done retrospectives. You have failed multiple times maybe, which is amazing because you have learned, and you have been working in internship for a company that most likely, hopefully, will keep you. And if it's not, still, your chances will be insanely high. And that's it. High level, what producer does, which is not playing games and getting high paid. This is my LinkedIn. If you want to connect, scan the QR code. Disclaimer, I write a lot, guys. You don't need to read everything. You just write a comment, you're killing it, and move on. That's fine. So I would love to connect with you. And if you please write in the ad that you're coming from this webinar, so I can, because I have multiple requests I need to go through. So yeah, that's me. I'm gonna stop sharing. Hopefully it was short and sweet. And now we go to the segment that everyone is waiting for.
Yeah,
Anna.
sorry for not being very responsive, but it's so much going on the chat. You know, like
yeah, I know. It's this chat reminds me of the Xbox lobby, but not toxic.
That's true.
And people still coming. So amazing, guys. Let's Anna, are you asleep or are you still here with me?
I'm still here, and let
Perfect.
me introduce myself. So my name is Anna Kalinowska. I work in CD Projekt. I'm an acting lead producer on the new Witcher game. I previously worked on the EP1 Phantom Liberty expansion for pack for Cyberpunk 2077 and on the base game Cyberpunk 2077. So I'd be happy to answer your question later on. And now I'm super excited to chat with Ali.
Likewise. Anna, we had chat last time, and me and you, we look at the role in a very interesting way. The role looks different between companies, which is interesting to discuss. But first of all, how the producer role looks at CDPR. I'm pretty sure, like even for me and a lot of the audience here are interested to know how it looks like. Let's start with this one. What kind of responsibilities you have here?
Yeah, I think it's worth with stating that producer is an organizational leader. And there is a lot on our plate. From one side, we have to focus on effective execution. So we need to remember to build the proper backlogs, to work with the quality, with budgets, with the scope, to judge it and to make it on time. From the other side, we need to build up our production toolbox. And as a production toolbox, I am understanding all the knowledge we gain, the whole path, like the seniority path. And it's about the experience with working with games, producing games, with the whole development cycle, with the closing period, with the releases, with preparing for the certification, all the FAS, going through all those things, but also working with the vision. I think this is also a part of the production toolbox. With more and more experience, you feel more capable of challenging that and becoming a partner for the upper leadership. And of course, it's also about the conscious improvement and building up the leadership skills. So this is the base of this, how we build the teams, how we support the leaders, how we choose the leadership styles, and also how we apply the certain frameworks. And it's important, you just mentioned it in your presentation, to not stick to just one framework. It doesn't work always. You need to choose the framework that serves your team, and that's the main purpose. So knowing those, having a chance to validate what are the team needs are, I think, the core basics of setting up the successful production. So those are the core elements in terms of working as a producer in CDP. But I think calling ourselves partners and having a strong mandate in terms of deciding and making the decisions and supporting the leaders and the team, it would be a core of this role.
So you need to feel comfortable taking decisions, and sometimes in a stressful time, like, yeah, let's do this or do this instead, and you don't have time to consult. But you mentioned a lot of like organizational parts, like licensing, And of course, we know that, but we need to have the discussion openly with everyone listening. When sometimes people connect producer that you do game content, and that's it. But guys, you have no idea especially when you're building a AAA game, there's a lot of aspects requires producers. There's outsourcing, there's licensing, there's legal. When you start the game, the splash screen, when it shows a couple of icons, what tools you have using, you need someone to make sure that it's right. Any mistake in here that caused a legal action, that cost a lot of money, we know that. But so you have producers are not in the gaming side only, right? Like in tech, in marketing, or how it works?
Yeah, we have producers in marketing. We have set the release team, but we work very closely together. And I feel like the transparency and clear communication is important. It doesn't matter whether you work in business or you work hands-on on the product. It's super important at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter from which department we are, because we are shipping it together.
Perfect. So the producer is also acting like a communication bridge between different departments to make sure that everyone is aware what they're building. And here also, we're gonna say a couple of things. So if you're on the way, if you are working in the gaming industry, can you please write in the chat? I'm just curious how many of you in the industry already. I'm gonna read the chat. If you're not working in the gaming industry, you might ask like, do you need to tell what you're doing? You don't know? No, no. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we get like, since when you're doing this? Oh yeah, because a department comes to you and say, oh yeah, by the way, we need this from your tech team. For what? Yeah, for this feature is going tomorrow. What are you talking about? What feature? So there's a lot of people in the industry?
Yeah, and with quite impressive experience, we have.
Wow. Oh, I'm gonna read the chat slowly as we go, but thanks for tuning in. So back to the point. Yes, communication is one of the biggest challenges in any game production. Absolutely, it's one of the biggest. And the game producers are responsible to make that happen, like acting like a partners, which is a key word Anna said. Thank you so much. Anna, you are a producer. You wake up, whatever you wake up, you make like a half liter of coffee or tea, whatever. How your day looks like? Like from you enter the office. Oh, I like this already.
I'm waking up quite early. So the first thing I'd like to do is to establish my day. And this is also the way how I end my day, with a short summary in the things or, on the card of all the things that I am about to do. And I also saw on one of your slides that you are choosing the prioritization method with urgent, not urgent, important, not important. I'm using the same method for myself to choose what's the most important to take care of today. So that's one of the first things why I'm starting my day. And, in the development process, it's always downloading the latest build so I can play later in the day. Because I feel like playing the game, it's a key part and being hands-on on the product. So later on, while I've been more in the production role as I transfer to work with leadership right now a bit, I used to start with the daily and checking with the team, and there was, always loads of stuff that were coming to be taken care of. And there's a funny thing. Before I joined the CDPR, my friend wrote to me and he said, "Oh, Anya, I heard that you were hired to join our team. I joined the animation team when I joined Red." So he told me one funny thing, that there are no repetitive days in Red because the environment is so complex and there are so many challenges that I will never be bored. And, I am 6.5 years in here, and it's exactly like this. I haven't been bored for a moment in my life.
Wow, that's a good statement. And you said a couple of keywords. I mean, and we need to stop here. You said, because we do that, all of us. I have my Notion. I mean, I'm one of those people overcomplicate my Notion system, which is waste time instead of helping you, but it helps in the long run. Yeah, that's me. Sorry, but why we do that? Because the amount of communications you need to do as a producer is beyond what your brain can to process. It's not that kind of job that, I'm pretty sure me and Anna, we write on our to-do list, reply to Slack person. We write reply to, say yes to I swear I've written say yes to X. Say yes. Just go to that person and say yes. It happened. That's it. Your brain won't be able to compute all this information. So you need to be super organized, which is a very characteristic of a good producer. And if you want to be organized, there's a book I would highly recommend, keep recommending it, Building a Second Brain. It just teaches you how you can take notes in a very clever way, and you can make it simplified, don't make it complicated. So check that book if you want. Awesome. And you said the second part that there's always challenges. So the role of producer is not a routine work. It's just like every day brings new challenges. But can you tell me more when the games are in different stages, from ideation to we're going to ship the game, how that changes the nature of our role or your role from your experience?
In the ideation phase, the team is usually smaller. And you mainly work with the key talent to establish the vision for the game. So, it depends what you prefer. And sometimes people feel like there is not much increment. But if you will, I'm not sure if everyone is aware what is a cone of uncertainty. This is a cone when at the very beginning there is a lot of unknowns, and then it's becoming tighter and tighter because vision is shaping. So it's a lot of time on the meetings discussing the vision, and later on, while we have the concept for the game, we are starting the vision phase. We can work on the MVP. We are working and establishing the general vision, and again, things are starting to shape, and we are having the idea where we are. Later on, we are entering the pre-production phase, where we are getting ready to start the production. So we are starting to build the backlog, we are building up the processes, we are building up the pipelines, we are building up the technology, whatever we need with the systems and so on to build up the game. And then the fun starts. Once our vision is confirmed, we have, we are story driven, so we have story. We can move on to, and of course, gameplay pillars and the game vision, doc, and so on and so on. We can move on to the regular production because we need to have established environment when we can implement and play and check the game. So then the stuff starts rolling. We have stages while we build up the quality. And I often compare working with games with making a sandwich. You can have a tasty sandwich and you can build it equally, or you can have a bits. So I'm always following the rule to build the game equally with distributing all the content and also evenly build up the quality on the content side. And as you can hear, I'm more like a content producer, but I also believe that content doesn't exist without the technology and it doesn't exist without gameplay. So we need to be in constant sync and work very closely. So once the things are shaping up, we are closing the alpha, and then it's a run towards the quality. And we are usually having discussion. What is good enough? How much quality we need to push? What are the key moments in the game where we need to invest our budget? Alpha is also the time where we are locking the scope. So, later on, it's a run to finish the game and to establish, the final product. And then we start the closing period. Of course, throughout the whole process, we are doing the testing, but the final push, the final closing is purely about preparing for the certification, getting rid of the bugs, making sure the game is playable from start to end with all the paths without any blockers and allowing us for, effective playthrough. And what's the most important, we need to all the time check whether the game is fun. So the evaluation is a core element, and it's also at least how I judge the production success through the feedbacks, through the mock reviews, through what our gamers are saying.
Thank you so much. So different stage brings different challenges and different nature of our focus. But during the whole process, we need to make sure they are meeting the expectations, the milestones, and the game is fun. Because it doesn't matter what you meet all the milestones, you ship all the features. If the collection of the experience is not that fun, then we failed, all of us collectively. Thank you so much for the great answer. Okay, what kind of tools are you using? Now the colleagues are, or like future colleagues, hopefully everyone listening that, okay, I am a game producer. What kind of tools I'm going to use? Am I going to use gaming engine? I'm going to make some games, or how it looks like for game producers. So let's talk tools now and methodologies.
I think definitely it's always good to learn the basics, how to use the engine and to check the basic stuff and, to overview whether, the certain bug appears. Sometimes you can support your QAs with some expertise. In general, I feel like production and QAs, we should be so close. So this would be one of the tools. The purely production ones would be Jira, definitely, all the Atlassian things like the Confluence and so on, where we make sure that the designs are landing. And of course, everyone is using Google Docs and all the materials, and also Excel and Microsoft software that is supporting the production. So, and Miro, we cannot forget about Miro. We've been using Miro for the plannings a lot. And it's also very helpful while we are about to brainstorm the ideas or run the retrospective, where you can have multiple people working at the same time, sharing the ideas, moving pieces. I'm pretty sure you have the same experiences with the tools.
We do, and we are going to use the same softwares in our course. We're going to use Jira for planning. We're going to use Notion for your personal to-do list, and Miro for ideation and retrospective. So this kind of the tools. What kind of methodologies you are using in your team? Because I know a difference between teams and even the same company. Some teams, because if they are like tools, like in my case, we use Kanban because we just have requests internally. So what kind of methodology you use for your team, Anna, or teams?
It depends. It's hard to, to say that it's one method to serve everyone, as we stated previously. Some teams are sticking to the pure Scrum. Some teams, while you are scheduling the motion capture session, it's hard to follow this, agile methodologies. It's just the line production, which you need to stick to, or with the VO recordings when you are in the collaboration with the studios. There are teams who are using Kanban. There are teams who are more like waterfall because they are kind of in client service relation. So it really depends. And I highly encourage you to first verify what are your team's needs and what serves you best. There's no, golden rule for that. You need to, find your methods. But definitely, the agile methods are serving us. And with the scale of the game, we are also using this large less. So this is large scale Scrum, let's say. So, this would be helpful, but also it depends. That serves us. It depends what kind of product you are making and what are your team's needs.
So always listen to the team needs. In my case, I have 4 teams, and we use different ways of working. Like depends on the need. Some of them Kanban, some of them hybrid. So don't be afraid to mix those methodology or be different. Did you work or have to work with multiple teams, Anna, previously?
Yes.
I'm just gonna ask you because I have 4 teams. Do you feel that you are different in the way you run the stand-ups or the team dynamics, or do you feel like you are consistent across all of them? I'm just curious.
It's never like this. There are different dynamics between people. They are different. It's always different. I had a chance to work with more line production oriented teams and also with the cross-disciplinary agile teams. So there are differences in the dynamics, and I don't have the preference. I think whatever serves the product improves the visibility and allows us to have a quick access for the creating feedback loop. It's fine. And what's your take on this?
I feel like I'm kind of different, to be honest.
What's
Not
your
like
preference then?
I don't have a preference. I have a team that's fully senior. So and some of them they prefer more like quiet, energy. So I go there with like kind of quieter than usually me and try to see how can we support, and I rely on them more. Then I have a team more like younger in age and in energy. Then we go bananas and so I adapt. I try to be the one that's suitable for the team, where they feel trusted, they feel like enjoying what they're doing, at the same time the dynamics it works. So I feel like, maybe I'm not sure if that's a good or bad, but that's just me, to be honest. I feel even my tone changes a bit, depends on the team.
But you just tackle a very important thing. That's that we need to create an environment for the people we work where they can feel that they can be themselves, they can trust you. So this is super important in the producer, to be this person who humbly supports the team and also helps in execution the vision, because pushing people, it's is a thing, but finding this balance and the proper dialogue, we are, in a professional environment. So this is a key pillar to build a successful, collaboration.
And now Anna started to give the golden nuggets like Santa Claus to all of us. What she just said is summarizing what makes the game producer and a very interesting role. I said I have 25 plus members in my teams, but guess what? I don't have their salaries. I don't have authority on them. They don't report to me. They have a manager they report to, which in my opinion is fantastic and so challenging in a good way. How can I lead a team without authority? How can I lead a team based on trust, and they see me as a visionary leader they can trust and follow? Imagine this. Imagine that you are the manager and you go to a team members and say, we're going to do this. And they disagree. They believe whatever idea you say is pure shit. But the salary discussion is literally tomorrow. So there's a conflict of interest. So they most likely going to do whatever you say more, or they don't want this conflict. But in my case, I don't have their salaries. They don't report to me. So you always need to be innovative in a way how you can create the trust, which makes the role of producer is very interesting. So
Yeah.
thanks for, you want to comment on this, or you have something to add?
Yeah, I have something to add on this, because this is also very important in producers' role, and in producers, that you guys need to listen to your people, and you need to have the will to understand what they are the challenges, what kind of stuff they work, and it's a great opportunity for you too to grow and learn. Like, for instance, I've learned so much from our developers, and this gave me so much power, and it made me a partner in the discussions. So if you want to challenge the vision, it's about talking with people, understanding what they are doing, and also supporting them on this path.
Oh, thank you so much. You're saying a lot of really good stuff. Like, you're triggering me to, I'm going to share one of my weaknesses that I did work on. It's not fair just to show up and say, oh, I'm a senior producer, I have this X team. No, this came after fails, and, we need to be vulnerable and share I used to be bad at listening, and listening is a key soft skill for any leader. But you say, but I'm listening, I'm not talking over you. No, you're not. So how you know you are listening? I'm going to tell you right now. If I'm talking to you and you are thinking, then you're not listening. The rule of thumb. Because you're already planning to reply to me. Like, you're preparing the reply, preparing to counter, prepare with whatever. If you're really actively, deeply listening, you will not think. You're just listening to me deeply. And a trick, you repeat what I just said to confirm that you're actually listening. Then you reply. And that's called active listening. You can look for this up. And this is one of the skills that I'm still working on it. And it's hard. Listening is genuinely hard. So yeah, cool. A lot of good stuff. Anna, this call has to be like 10 hours. There's a lot of questions I want to ask you, just like generated from the discussion. But what kind of challenges? Like, I shared a bit what kind of things that might happen. But from your opinion, what is the biggest challenges a game producer might encounter?
I think the biggest challenge are, the things that may break the game at the very last moment. And for instance, it's hard for us sometimes to judge whether this submit is safe or not, and we need to trust a lot people's judgment. So these are the biggest things in my opinion. And the big challenge is, like, for instance, you work on a new IP and whether it's sell or not. It's always a challenge. Working with the team is a challenge. You have the struggles. You have different ideas. They have different ideas. There are conflicts, but to be honest, I think that conflicts are a very good and a good thing, because they build the communication bridges. If we can get through the conflict, if we can talk meritorically and come to the conclusions, this is the power source. And for us as a production, I think that the hardest is to execute cats, because no one wants to scale down and everyone wants to have everything in the game. And I highly recommend the language of showing consequences. So you talk with everyone who's involved in the certain thing, from the guy who sold you the idea to the guy who was hyped out to create the system. You are showing the consequences, how it's impacting the product, what might be the delays, and then you guys decide whether it will come in and we have the resources to handle this, or we will introduce the cats, or maybe we need to get rid of something else to fit this, because it will serve the product and it will be fun for our players. So, there are many things that we need to challenge. And I'm pretty sure you have similar experiences.
Oh yeah, you reminded me, and this is why I love discussion. Like, sometimes you prepare for what you're gonna say, but you know what? When you have a discussion, you just start to remember things. The gaming industry is unique in multiple ways, but the uniqueness happens. Let's say there's a company build an app for pet owners to remember to feed their cat or something. Like, let's say the team is 15. How many people are genuinely, their passion is about build an app, reminds pet owners to feed their pets? Maybe one among the team. The rest is just like, for them, is just a task they need to finish. And the gaming industry is absolutely the opposite. The entire team, it's like everyone knows games and everyone is too passionate about their features. So the challenge of running a team that's super passionate about their product is completely different than motivating a team to be excited. It's like, in our case, we need like, oh, hold your horses, slow down, guys.
Exactly.
Scoping, don't go crazy. Let's cut this. And when you cut a feature to not overscope, you're killing their babies and darling. And you need to show them why we should do that. As a producer, we need to think in a different way. It's not the classical way. So let's say a feature we're gonna challenge of should we have or not. We shouldn't think what I gain from adding this feature, what I will lose if I don't do it. That's what we should look at. So we look at things differently. And why we have this kind of dilemma and challenges, because you're the only one. And this is why I love this role and it's important. You're the only one in the team see the holistic view. They're already zoomed in their stuff, and they just want their piece of code, piece of art, to be the best possible. But you're the one see from outside. Then you will see what you're doing in code won't be translated in the technology, the gameplay mechanics. So you're doing high level technology, we're going to utilize 20%. Or the art you're doing is too good, it will not blend with the rest. So can you do crappier art, please? Like, imagine sometimes you go through this. So game producer, we have this ability to zoom in and out very fast, and that's what makes us able to make decisions. But like Anna said, it's challenging when everyone is passionate. So I love, you want to comment on this, Anna? You have something else?
Yeah, you just reminded me about one more thing, that, in this leadership roles as a producers, we sometimes need to also help people to learn how to kill their babies, as you just said, because we cannot be, we cannot live with, let's say, concepts that are not serving us and just forcing ourselves to use it. We need to allow ourselves to explore, to experiment, and to build upon it. And the game is changing. This is the iterative process, and we need to really remember about this, that giving ourselves a chance and seeking for what serves us best would be the best.
Guys, if you're not from the gaming industry or listening for the first time, we use that terminology in the gaming industry, killing ideas. That's the mean of
No,
someone
yeah,
complaining what kind of analogy it is. I understand when we heard it for the first time in the gaming industry, like, what is that again? Yeah. Be okay with your idea being cut or something for the main purpose, not overscope. Also, we have hundreds of people in here. Some of them are colleagues in the gaming industry with years of experience. So thank you so much for joining, means a lot. But then we have the rest, which is hopefully future colleagues, and they're here to know more. So Anna, what kind of tips do you have for them if they want to be a game producer? And what kind of skills, soft skills or hard skills they can acquire?
Okay, I will start from that I haven't been following chat, and I didn't notice that phrase kill the babies, which I still for you would be mind breaker. But yeah, it's about killing the concepts and deciding that we are moving on with the vision. And for starting in the game industry, I've also transferred from different industry. I used to work in visual effects and animation. And the transfer for me was easier because I joined the animation team and motion capture, so it was quite similar in that matter. And I would encourage everyone to try and to not give up, because if you will get rejection email, it doesn't mean that it's something wrong with you. Ali wrote a post about it. You can read it on his LinkedIn. It's about trying, and you need to try and try and try and learn and grow. And I think this is a core element. And applying and starting from the different jobs than only a producer is also a thing. Like we have a lot of producers who transferred from being a QA. There are a lot of producers who've been game developers. So there are many ways to get in. And there are also people coming from IT, from the project management. So there are many ways to become the producer. But what hit me some time ago when we've had agile coaches in CDP now, which we decided that everyone is a producer. It doesn't matter what in terms of the naming, we are doing the games. So I spoke with one of our agile coaches who has been transitioning to the production role, and he told me that I had so many courses that I could, finish, gain the certificates, and I haven't seen any courses for game production. How can I learn, and how can I grow? And I feel like what you guys creating with Futuregames is a unique opportunity. And guys, I need to ensure it. Ali showed me the program, and I'm pretty sure you will be equipped with the hands-on experience. So I highly recommend you if you want to learn. It's a great opportunity. So, look for the junior jobs, apply, seek for the solutions, apply for the internship. And if you have similar skills, try to apply, because you never know.
Thank you so much. And for some reason, I decided to write a post about this today, because it happened to me while I was trying to pursue the gaming industry career, that you will receive a lot of no. And at some point you start to doubt yourself. Is it me? It's not you. 90% is not you. I'm telling you out of the bat, 90% of the cases is absolutely not you. Something changed internal. So I wrote this in a post, I shared it in the chat. Please take a look. And I keep writing this kind of post that helps you to join the game industry. I share a lot of resources. So I would love to be with you there. Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing. And okay, that's gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna, whatever you're gonna say, I'm gonna just evaluate on myself. What makes a good producer? We said a couple of things here and there, but now from your experience, what makes a very good producer?
I feel, there is a book by Peter Senge called Fifth Discipline. And it says about personal mastery. And let's not say the mastery in a negative way. It's more about building up your craftsmanship. So I think your will to grow, your will to learn, you being courageous, you've been challenging yourself, you've been challenging, everything around you, and caring about the product, using your mandate, the producer's mandate, trying to learn the different production styles, being interested, following the trends, and definitely being a gamer will be a helpful thing to become a good producer, and definitely being on top of your things, because this is a very the role focus on organization and being great in communication and with the leadership skills.
Cool. So you need to know about as much as parts as you could, but you don't need to be master, or because you will work with the experts who are gonna be focusing on that. But if you have some knowledge, it will make communicating with them a lot easier. In my case, I have tech teams, so I used one of the passion weeks where we can learn. So I learned how to do graphics programming, just the famous triangle. So when I talk to them, I start to speak their language. Have you done this OpenGL, CLS, whatever library? Have you done that? Then they start to engage with you a lot more. But if I go to them, have you done the thing? And I act like I talk in a way that doesn't make sense, that the relationship wouldn't be as good. Awesome. I have way too many questions to you, Anna, so
Sure.
bear with me. Oh, that's a good one. Now we're going personal in here. We're going personal, Anna.
Okay.
We have done this, what do you call it, generic question. Now we're going personal. A personal challenge you had in a project. You don't need to name the project, but what kind of challenges you had, and maybe how you solved them.
Oh, it's like checking the diary of every day, but I feel like
Yeah, true. That's actually true.
but I feel like recently building a team of the leadership team within our group, as we are shaping the new leadership. So I think this was the biggest challenge, to match their characters and get them into the same flow. It's always challenging to shape the team, and I'm pretty sure it can rely, doesn't matter on what seniorship level you are. If you are entering the production tasks, or you are working with your colleagues and making them communicate correctly, I think this is always a challenge, and starting to work like one big team who trusts each other and can freely share the vision.
Cool. And as you said, our diaries and every day is a challenge. I can share one of the challenges I had with one of the teams.
Go.
Oh, it's gonna be. So we had a certain level of crashes, and the team mindset saw that number is acceptable.
Interesting.
But when I looked at the number from a QA lead perspective, guys, this is zeros in here, and each one is a player. The numbers when we see in the game production, it's just not a number. It's just someone cannot experiencing your game. And that's really bad. Why we joined the gaming industry, all of us, beside merchandise because it's cool, is to build something meaningful, because we believe in the power of games. We have been gamers the whole life, and it just helped us to build relationships with families, with friends, helped us through tough times. I mean, all of you play games, and you know what I mean and what I'm talking about. And this is what we want to build, that experience. Imagine that hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands, they cannot experience your game. And that's really bad. They cannot play, they cannot be part of this, what you're building, and the community. So I had to change that. How? And this is one of the challenges to be a game producer. You need to take the hits. You need to be in tough spot and show that to your team members, that I'm being humiliated with C-level meetings, so So what I did, basically, I start to show numbers every morning, and we decided on a very aggressive limit that crashes should never, ever be below or above that percentage. We're very, very small. And if it's above that, I'm going to go to C-level and show red, yellow, green. So I've been just showing red figures for months. Just standing in there with C-level in the room and just like, oh, okay, KPIs, red, yellow. And I go back to my team, I'm showing them that This is what's happening to your producer. Let's do something about it. Of course, with the right strategy, I managed to change that mindset. And now I'm certain if I leave the team, the company, doesn't matter. What I have built, it just becomes nature part of the core team mindset. And this is what kind of challenges. Sometimes you need to lead by example. Sometimes you need to take the hit. If the team delivers whatever you're doing, like the perfect feature, perfect game, it's the team, not you. You have done your job. Thank you. That's it. That's it. If the team delivers, then the team. If the team fail to deliver, it's on you.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's producer. That's, in my opinion, that's what producer. So don't expect someone like, oh my God, you're killing it. No, you're not. It's the team who's killing it, but you did your work and that's it. So I love this. I feel this kind of challenge, constraints make us act in a good way. Like haiku, when you need to write few letters in a sentence and a word, it forces you to write something meaningful. Same goes to producer. Oh, I love producer more than I should. I just realized that. I got too excited.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to hold my horses. You want to say something, Anna?
Yeah, I have a question because you seem to be quite hype about this experience. So would you describe it as something which is your production payoff when you see that your team succeed?
Sorry, when my team succeed?
That it pays off, like the payoff, that it's your success as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was part of porting the StarStable Online to Android. And Android is, my God, it's tricky platform. They have like 20,000 device, if not mistaken, with million resolution. Then you have the nightmare, this opening ones, the foldable ones. It's a nightmare with the resolution. And our game is 12 years and a half, guys. And what engine are we using? Can you guess in the chat what engine are we using? I'm gonna look at the chat now. Guess what engine are we using at StarStable? Unity, Unreal, Unity. Wrong, all of you guys. Wrong. We have our own engine. And everyone like, what? 12 years and a half. Yes, we have our own technology. So imagine that I need to do that porting. So I was part of the whole project and we managed to have crash rate around 1%. And that was my biggest technical achievement in my life.
Wow.
I went home, the smile was like, I was sleeping, smiling like the Joker. I was like smiling for 5 days. But I was happy. But to be honest, it's the team. They have done the programming, they have done the testing, they have done everything. I was just making sure the pieces works correctly. So yeah, that was one of the biggest achievement. I felt really happy, but it's the team always.
Yeah, it's the team, but it's also your input, the strategic input, how you help them to plan the delivery.
Of course. Of course. If I wasn't around, I would like, I don't want to underestimate the role. If I wasn't around, they might have done completely off because I was the one going Google Vitals every day and make sure the numbers are connected. So our role is so sensitive, but that's my mindset when celebrating. It just, I feel like I see this team effort, but of course you are part of the team. So of course it's a team success.
Yeah.
Awesome. Feedback. And that's a very interesting point because we have done something. But first I want to hear your answer. Feedback. As a producer, you will give and you will receive. And feedback is hard. Like some people, if you give them a feedback, their heart rate will be like 150, like they're running marathon. So how you see feedback, Anna?
I feel like feedback is a blessing. And it doesn't matter, you can have positive feedback, you can have some corrections and so on and so on. Is the matter how this feedback is given to you. And if it's given in the meritorical and constructive way, I feel it's a great thing. And, the charm of the feedback is that you can take it and accept it and act on it, or you can completely ignore it. And it depends whether we talk about the personal feedback towards you as a human, or we are talking about the creative feedback. Because if it's the creative one, it's about challenging the vision. And the question is, who is giving this feedback? If it's discipline lead and it affects the quality, it's really important to take it as a part and have it included because, we all have input on the product vision, but at the end of the day, we have game director who's deciding what is the final look of the project. And with having like with AAA's hundreds of people working and everyone wanting to be a decision-making person, it would be really hard to deliver something which is coherent on all aspects, the technology, art, cinematics, and game experience. So I would say it's worth to be open, not to take it personally, because it's never something that should touch you. Feedback is mainly about the reason that we all care. We want to have a great working environment, and we want to have the great product. So be open-minded and take it what serves there for you. And if you do not agree, I don't feel like, you need to hold it in yourself. You can share the feedback with this person that I understand your point, but to be honest, I do not agree with the certain parts.
First of all, if you have any feedback to Anna, write it in the chat about what she said. So we practice feedback in the...
Yeah, I will open the chat, what you guys
So if you have a feedback
that.
about the feedback that Anna gave, put it in the chat. But you know what? I believe you're the first human and it's recorded. So feedback is a blessing. I never heard this in my life. This is a statement I never heard. So I might quote you when I write something on LinkedIn in the future.
Sure.
Feedback is, when you take feedback, is where you start growing. It's the only way for you to grow is feedback. No way. Like you will be stuck in your career and you can grow organically we're going to come to that point, how you can grow what kind of things I can do to keep up to the trends, but you will be limited. So how can I grow out of this box? Feedback. That's the only way. We have done this exercise, Anna. If we have any Swedish people in the live, and I saw there's a couple, we don't like conflicts. I mean, if someone is leaving if you're leaving the door and we hear someone from the neighbors, we wait for them to leave, then we go, so we don't say hi. So and someone say, yeah, we do that, all of us. So imagine giving a feedback, that's not a nightmare. Unless one manager came in and said, next week, you're going to have one-to-one with everyone in the team, all the team will have one-to-one with everyone, and you need to give something they're doing good and something they can improve on.
And you know what? This is, I think, the organizational matter, because if people are giving feedback on a regular basis and they are used to it, it's not that scary anymore. It's like a part of the process, and
it's a muscle you train to give and receive. And when we did this exercise, it was million times easier than we expected. It was actually fun. I've learned about what things I could do. So receiving feedback is an art, giving feedback is a good. But Anna said something super important I need to highlight. If the feedback coming from a position of craft skill, then you need to listen to. So let's say you're making a game for Elden Ring. I use that example because I love those hardcore games. Then you receive a feedback from someone, they just play co-op casual games about your game. Of course, their feedback is respected and but someone coming from who did platinum on all the Souls game, which one is more important? Which was more valuable? Same goes to stakeholders, same goes to the vision. So you cannot take every feedback as seriously. You need to, where it's coming from, how it's being presented. So sometimes you need to take it, or sometimes you just let go. Anna, I shared my proudest moment as a producer when I shipped or ported StarStable to Android. What is yours, Anna?
I feel like the proudest moment for me, I think it's the evolution of Cyberpunk and where we are right now. I think it's in the best possible shape, and it just opened the door for the future, and everything what we done on the Phantom Liberty, the whole journey, the whole transformation of CD Projekt. I keep it very close in my heart, and I think it's the biggest achievement of us as a team. And this is the proudest thing, the thing that I'm proud of.
100%. If you are a citizen in the Night City, please write in the chat. We would like to identify you one by one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was just listening, learning as I'm talking to you. A lot of feelings start to like I remembered when I was proud. I remember some of the challenges, some of these weird moments. But you know what? We have been talking. I have been talking more than I should. Thank you so much for sharing amazing like insights. But now me and you, we have the last chapter in our webinar where like hundreds of people decide to skip their lunch, breakfast, and be with us. And they're gonna ask us questions in the comment section. So I'm gonna pick those questions. And my advice to you, make sure your question is concise and easy to read. Should we do it, Piotr? We have done that multiple times. Should I read it or we should just let them ask? Okay, you know what? I made my mind, Piotr. Let's try this. I'm gonna let you talk, but please make sure that to revisit the question multiple times to give us the quick, like my question is this. Don't like speaking for 5 minutes.
Perfect.
We have
a brief from producer, so I think the questions.
Yeah, that's a good practice to be a producer. So I'm asking you to unmute. Yes, please. First question.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
We hear you very perfectly. Thank you.
Perfect. First of all, I want to just say thank you to you guys for hosting this webinar. Anna, we connected last week, so pleasure to actually learn from you. My question for you is regarding your personal experience throughout the Phantom Liberty expansion. Gabe said in a recent DICE summit that they empowered producers to be more vocal and act as mini game directors. So throughout the process, what do you say you learned and what could you have done better?
I think we could done better many things. We've been first time in a new position. We've changed the ways we produce. And I also see a related question on the chat. How much creative input do you have as a producer at CDP? Actually, you have a lot. You have a strong production mandate to make the decisions. So if you feel like the design is not adding up, it's you who is raising it. And to be honest, I have to highlight here my colleagues from QA who's been a great help because they've been providing me with a lot of expertise, and without their input, I wouldn't be making the conscious decisions. And I think where we took turns and we had the biggest impact on EP1, it was when we've been finishing the quality, because when vision is locked, it's us who are taking over the project, and we are deciding what are the P1s, what we want to, resolve, what kind of issues we are handling. So I would say, working with the creatives, building the trust, they gave us very strong mandate in terms of deciding on the final look and final decisions on the EP. And also on updates on CP, because we've been reworking multiple systems. I hope this answered your question.
Thank you so much for the question and for the great answer. So I'm going to take one from the chat, then we go back to the people who raised their hand. You mentioned that you used to be animator, Anna, and what was your pivotal moment to become a producer?
I wasn't an animator. To be honest, I studied architecture, so I had a bit of experience with 3D. I was working in animation industry as a producer, so and VFXs. So this and what was the pivotal moment? It's funny. It was Blade Runner, and in Poland we've been doing the VFXs in a guerrilla style. We've been building a lot of stuff on set and then adding in post because we didn't have the budgets. And when everything was more physical, I was like, oh my God, I think it's time to change a bit and I need more challenges. And, when the role in CDP came out and I received the proposition to join, I was glad to take it. So,
thank you so much. So you used to be a producer in the animation world. So we have now next in line, Ayman, you have a question, so the floor is yours.
Hey, I just have a short question. How would you recommend us students or people that are almost done with their studies in game production, how would you recommend us to build our portfolios? Because artists can just show their projects or the art they did, programmers can show the code they did, but what do we show? Like, do we post screenshots of our Jira timelines or what do we do?
You know what? If you have friends, you are definitely in touch with many people who are building their own games, or even starting some small projects, or just participate in the game jams. All of those experiences, adding up to your experience. So you are learning how to manage the project, even if it's only a few days, and you supporting the people and just, the project. And definitely go to the game conferences, learn about it. If you don't have the possibility to travel, everything is online recently, so you can learn and definitely build it that way and start seeking for some junior jobs. There are many remote opportunities, and this would be a great start. And it's mainly for the junior jobs and the entry jobs about the mindset. So thinking representing what you are representing. I see that you are very willing to start, so you can write to me on LinkedIn, and maybe I will recommend you some books and so on.
Perfect. You answered a very good question, how they can find a job as a junior level. I believe if I'm not mistaken, his question was, how can I show my portfolio? Because as an artist, you have an art station. As a programmer, you have a GitHub. But as a producer, we don't have this kind of things, which I believe it's a great question. How you can do that? You have been part of producing games, like Anna said, if it's a game jam or during education. Show me the process. Show me what kind of meeting structure you had, and more importantly, what kind of challenge you faced and how you solved that. Make that in a web page or a very website just showing this kind of things. You won't need the portfolio as soon as you land a gaming industry job. Then your resume will be your portfolio. You don't need it anymore, I promise you. But from outside, you need to be attractive enough. So show me how you solve things, how many projects you have built, and what you have learned. So this will be good enough. If you're listening to this and you don't have LinkedIn profile, that's the biggest mistake you can have. Like if someone apply and I don't have a LinkedIn, I would definitely not consider hiring them, because you didn't put the effort to be on the platform where everyone is networking for professional, and you're not showing your work, you're not being connected. So if you don't have a LinkedIn and you're listening to me, you stay in this meeting, you make a LinkedIn, then you leave this meeting, and you be connecting with people, share your work, be out there. If you're not there, if you don't show me your work, how can I see you? So please, not only be there and optimize, show your work, be there. I just want to shoot this out because I hate when students say we don't have a LinkedIn. Like, how can I see you then? How can I see your work? It's possible. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna go to Mustafa.
Hello. Am I audible?
We hear you. The voice is not very clear, but we're gonna do our best to hear your question. He got upset with me. I guess he got frozen, the internet or something. So we're gonna go back to Mustafa. Now we can go to Daniel.
Or Mustafa, you can write on the chat.
Yeah. So Daniel, the floor is yours.
We cannot hear you.
I just gave you the opportunity to unmute yourself again.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Welcome.
that was what was holding me up. So first off, yeah, thank you so much again for hosting this webinar. This has been very eye-opening, but just a little bit about myself. I've been mainly doing film. Like I'm a filmmaker, but I've got Dungeons and Dragons and all sorts of books back there, and been playing video games all my life. So what I love about video games most is like building a narrative. So I was curious about what impact or sort of input producers have over the narrative side of things, as opposed to say the design or the UX side.
So I work mainly with the narrative. So we are part of the creative process, and we are open to share our opinion. And you can share it with the certain director, the quest director, the cinematic director, for the narrative director. We are also checking the feedback on the regular basis, what our employees think about the product we make. So there are always the opportunities to share the feedback, and everyone have the possibility to share what they think, but of course we need to stick to the game vision, and there are feedbacks that we agreed with and we want to introduce. Sometimes the feedback is eye-opening because it's showing us the paths for the, let's say, character arc that we haven't think about. They are, giving us the ways that are not too obvious for the player and may be very exciting later on while we will implement stuff. So, but I would say it depends from the company. This is what we cultivate in CDP, that we are open to this and we listen to our people, as we are all gamers and we want best.
I guess similar applies to us. You will be part of the ideation and the process, but remember, you will have the narrative lead and the designers. So they take our input always with value, but the final call has to be in the expert field. And by the way, Daniel, I have good news for you. Do you know how many friends and colleagues I know they did this transition from film production to games? And Joseph Fares is one of them. The creative mind behind It Takes Two. I know one of my colleagues also came from film production to games. So this super common transition happened a lot in the gaming industry. Thank you for your question. Mustafa, you're next. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Salam, sir. Thank you. The internet connectivity here is not so good, so this is why I'm going to make it short. Sir Ali, you said there's a person who don't have his LinkedIn ID and such stuff like that. How can you see your work? Sir, if I, as a game producer, of course, if I want to apply, first of all, yes, I'm going to make my LinkedIn just right after the meeting. Okay, done. Now I have my stuff. I don't have a background in Real Engine, Unity, and these all stuff. But I have knowledge about all these games, the AAA titles. We are from a middle class family. I couldn't play, I couldn't buy an Xbox, not a PS, not a PS5. But up till now, up till the end, all those terminologies that you say, all the stuff that you say about Quest and stuff, I do know those things because I have been keeping myself up to date with the environment, with the current situation, knowing that these processors, Ryzen, AMD CPUs, Zen 4 being going down, Zen 5 being up. I'm trying to even make my own ITX mini form factor PC so I can like process and render. So I am going on this way. Now, judging this, is it good for me if I apply for this producer course? If I have already in the past made my own gameplay script, like I have wrote a script and I have wrote not just one but two scripts. So how should I process myself towards the higher ups like you, Ali Farha, and others at CDK and Futuregames Warsaw? That I need judgment of am I a suitable guy? How should I go? Like what part should I talk?
Yeah, I need to. I guess I heard
And
like I need from the context. Yeah, sorry.
Miss
So
Anna,
I need to.
from her, I need to ask that since she is a female, I actually have wrote a story about a character. She is similar to Wonder Woman from DC Universe, but she's not a Wonder Woman. She's basically a superhero.
Sorry, I need to stop you here because the question was, you can continue writing in the chat if you want to have an idea, our opinion. If you have multiple, I've heard a lot of soft skill and hard skill. That's nice. So first of all, the process is I have this kind of soft skill that applies the game industry is looking for. And when you build your LinkedIn, this is what I did, and it worked for me. I knew no one in the gaming industry, absolutely no one. As I'm working on my skills, I was building my network. So I was trying slowly to add Anna, Piotr, whoever names, slowly build my network. You don't go too aggressive. You need to build your network, and it takes time. Took me years to build my network, the one I have right now. So don't expect in 2 days you will have thousands of people. As soon as I start to build this connection with them, I start to engage with their content. I start to learn from their content. I start to show what I know. And that was my way to find a job, find opportunities in speaking. I'm here because of LinkedIn. I get this role because of LinkedIn. So this is my tip for you. And don't be spread too thin. You need to have a core skill. So you cannot be all over the place. So this would be my answer if you have multiple skills that you need to focus on the gaming industry. Anna, would you like to add something to if you heard, it was hard to hear. I used all my active
Yeah.
listening ability. Now I cannot listen anymore.
Yeah, I've heard about, building the LinkedIn career.
Yeah.
I'm not that active on LinkedIn, but I highly encourage what you are doing. And I've also heard a part about Wonder Woman pitch, but it was a
Yeah.
bit choppy. So I'm very sorry. I won't be able to reply it because even if I would love to, because it wasn't, allowing
No.
me to fully understand the whole concept.
Yeah. Thank you so much for. I like that you have this idea, this energy. Keep it, and feel free to write in the chat. Maybe the colleagues in the audience can listen or chime in. Thank you so much. And again, jump to the next question. We have a lot of questions. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pronounce this wrongly, so sorry. Anvit?
Anvit.
Anvit.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me correctly.
We hear
Yes.
you very
Oh,
well.
good.
Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you very much, guys, for hosting this webinar. It really means a lot. I only had one question. So I was quite fortunate enough to secure an associate producer role. I know it requires individuals to have a certain extent of knowledge before you can proceed into this sort of role. I know it's not entry level. However, after being in this role and also connecting with a few other individuals who are in the gaming industry, after establishing a few connections and speaking to some of the competitors of CD Projekt, I've heard from a lot of people that even though I've had experience in this role, they still want individuals who have particular experience working only on AAA titles, and that's quite rare because not every individual is going to have experience working on a AAA title. Not everyone is going to be working on, say, CD Projekt or Rockstar or say Square Enix or something like that. So, what would you say to if I want to say now apply to CD Projekt since I don't really have AAA experience? I do have experience working as an associate producer in a gaming company, but not AAA games. So, what would you say I would need to do in order to make up for that particular gap?
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
maybe I can take it. So from the CDP perspective, we never discourage people who were working on indie games. It brings a lot to the table actually, because you are very close to the design. And if you work on the AAA, it's usually getting more into specialized stuff and working with at least with one team or with some area. So I would never say that it's something that limit the chances. I think it's equal experience as you are learning with working with the teams. So in terms of how you can highlight, I think it's about showing what you achieved as a producer, how you improve the processes, what kind of stuff you've done with your team. And I would go into that direction as those are the things that really matter. And one thing to add, the associate producer role differs between the studios. For instance, in Ubisoft, it can be a bit more senior position than in other companies.
Thank you for sharing this. I was going to say the same. Don't be confused, and this is why the role is a bit confusing. Ubisoft and Japanese studios, associate is very, very high level. Like sometimes I'm a senior producer, but if I apply to associate, like, yeah, you don't have this 10 years. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, associate in my company, I have to associate myself for half a year. That it's an entry level. Some companies it's high level. Thank you so much.
All right, thank
Anvit,
you.
and we go to Marion, if I pronounce correctly.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
We hear you, yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for hosting. Like Daniel said earlier, it's been very eye-opening. I was wondering if, as producers, you had encountered someone on your team who just refused to work with the team, and how did you overcome this? That was my question.
Ali, start, please.
That's a good one. Yes, I did. I did encounter people don't want to work even. That just happens. So as a producer, you need to understand and read between the lines. Back to the challenges and how clever and sharp you need to be. When you do the stand-up, that person always takes time to finish this kind of task, takes longer than it should. Don't ask for help. They need to are you shy or something? Or you need to figure out they need help, but they are shy of asking. So you need to, do you need any help? Or someone can help you maybe. So you need to figure these things out. But by working with teams for longer time and understanding team dynamics, you will see something interesting. Some people get way more motivated working on certain tasks compared to different ones. So what I started to do as much as possible to shuffle this. So I give everyone what they get them excited, because why not, right? They're excited. That means they will do a better job. They're happier. But you cannot do this all the time, because sometimes a boring piece of delivery needs to happen. No one will be happy. You know what? After that, we're not Legoland. It's a business, and we need to deliver on the highest quality possible. So yes, I've seen this, and you need to nudge the team back to the feedback. And the final way, we need to go to the manager that responsible on that person. We need to be honest with them. Say like, I don't believe this is working well. Can you check on that person if there's something in their personal life, something this? So yeah, we have seen people don't want to work with teams, prefer solo. So I start to give them solo projects instead, and try slowly to change that if possible. So yeah, Anna, would you like to add anything to this?
Yeah, I would definitely go into the same direction. I will start from the conversation. Sometimes, there are things, as you just said, there might be some personal that are bothering the given person. And if this won't help, I will definitely talk with the direct manager how we can improve that, so they are responsible directly for the development of this developer.
Thank you so much. And here we have a colleague actually want to ask something.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Ali. Nice to see you again, Ali. Yeah, both thank you very much for the talk today. Lots of useful and very amazing information. I have a question relating to something, Ali, you mentioned in the beginning, which was as a producer, you often going to the office is wasteful because you spend most of your time in meetings anyway. An interesting thing, which I think is maybe a Polish thing specifically, but is a very evident thing in the industry I've seen, is a lot of times the studios seem to be very inflexible regarding producers being remote, but being very flexible with design and programming and other resources being remote. Do you think there is something that as a producer you can do to show remote value, to show that you can still bring more value remotely? Or do you think it's ultimately going to be a studio by studio thing? I think, Anya, from your perspective, CDPR are very studio first, especially in Warsaw, right? So do we think so two-part question. Do you think there is value that you as a producer can show to kind of motivate being remote? And do we think that Poland or some of the studios here will be more open to remote, especially when it comes to production? Thank you.
This is really good question. It's like, tell me you are expert without telling me that you're an expert. Some days I am back-to-back meetings. Happens in our producer life. It happens. To be honest, working from home makes way more sense. That if I have 5 minutes, I can just sit down on the couch doing something. But when I'm at the office, like, it's hard. I commute like for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, then back and forth, then be in meetings. I start to go to the office when it's meeting-free day because then I can see the people. I believe producer is one of the roles could work perfectly fine remote, when you can show that you're optimizing your time and you can get more stuff done because you don't have commuting time and you will be in meetings anyway, and it's hybrid anyway. But when it's workshops for big deliveries on site, nothing beats that. There's no way you can beat the coffee machine discussions and the on-site brainstorming. But when people in the room, some synergy just weird. It's just like crazy ideas will start floating. I'm not underestimating the hybrid. It works perfectly fine. One of the craziest idea we had at StarStable happened by the coffee machine at the kitchen. It's like some people from different departments just chat about something. Let's try this in the next Passion Week, and they've done the project, and it's amazing. We cannot replicate that remotely. How unless I'm gonna make a channel called the Coffee Machine channel. That's actually a clever idea. I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna create a channel that's called Coffee Machine, and people go there when they drink. You just inspired me, Ro. I'm gonna make this happen. Anyway, you need to replicate some space where people randomly meet and discuss, so they can crazy idea comes in. Anna, would you like to add something to this?
I'm all in for the hybrid experience. I don't have a problem with we have some producers working 100% remotely. Although if we have a bigger meetings, we usually have, established that we are meeting once in 3 months or so on. So we are in touch, we can think, we can brainstorm, we can work on the strategy, we can, plan. So it's really important to have this hands-on experience to, build the relationships, not only online. And after COVID, there were funny situations that I had people in my team that I never seen them because they never turn on the camera, and it was interesting experience to meet those people after a few years of working remotely in real life, after so many discussions, struggles, and so on. So, I really like to meet people from time to time in the office.
I said a story, I'm gonna connect it. You remember the feedback session I told you about? We had a guy I did work with, everyone worked with for a year and a half. I have no idea how he looked like. He could be like NBA player, he could be square. I don't know how he looked like. And we got this feedback session. Everyone said, "Can you please open the camera?" The next day, he opened the camera and everyone's writing. It was like, "Oh my God, he opened the camera." Like, so that was really funny. So if you can open camera, builds connection as much as possible. I highly encourage that. Thank you so much, Anna. And now we go to V in the house. V, you have a question for us.
So thank you, first of all, to Futuregames for organizing this webinar. And
your mic is breaking.
Your mic, my friend used to have the robot voice. And yeah, it happens, technology. So
can you hear me now?
Now we hear you like a podcast professional.
Thank you. First of all, thank you.
No, it just broke again. Sorry. I'm really sorry. It just started good, then it broke again. Maybe you can write in the chat or try to fix it and come back in the line if you don't mind.
It's now fine?
Yeah,
it's
keep
fine.
Don't move.
Keep holding it.
Keep holding.
Okay. So first of all, I want to thank Futuregames for organizing this event. Anna for joining this webinar. I have kind of different. I'm personally a founder and CEO of my own startup, and currently I'm also doing game producing position for my team. We are around 10 people.
It's breaking. Sorry.
It's breaking. Sorry, we cannot hear. If you write the question in the chat, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I can write it. Yeah.
And now it's better.
I know the issue. When he's not asking, it's working. When he asks, the mic is not working. So your mic is not designed. It's designed for gaming, not designed for productivity. It's not working anymore. Please write in the chat. I would love to hear your question. I'm pretty sure he said something about being a founder. And you know what? Being a founder is so close to be a producer of a small team because you need to do a lot of things, sometimes related to business, BI, sometimes related to communication, if it's marketing. So the soft skill you do as a founder, super applicable for a producer. You have done a lot of things and extra because being a founder, it's a heavy job. So we're gonna go next to Nishant, if I'm pronouncing correctly. So I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
Yeah, you can hear me, you can see me.
Yeah,
we do both.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much for spending your time hosting this webinar. I really appreciate it. As a game producer, I would imagine part of your job is to protect your team from work items, conversations, or any other distractions that could potentially waste time for your team. How do you go about making the decision if a work item or a distraction coming in is worth your team's time or not?
What a great question, man. This is great. Anna, you go first.
I think it depends whether it serves the vision. So sometimes it's worth to discuss what was the idea behind the certain thing and how it serves the project. And if it's really the distraction, we are not leaving the ideas on the floor. We are trying to challenge them and, to cut them early or to proceed with them later on. So, this is the matter of weighting the consequences, which we've been talking about, 1 hour ago, something like that. You need to decide whether it's important, and also you can use the prioritization matrix that Ali has been showing at the beginning, whether it's urgent or not, whether it's important or not.
Thank you so much. There's two kinds of producers. Producers who shield their team literally, like they don't want people to talk to their team directly. It's like, if you want something, talk to me or write a ticket in here, then I handle it. I don't believe that. I don't like that. I feel like we are teammates. Everyone at the organization should be able to speak with everyone. No question. Anyone should be able to write to everyone. Like I've written to CEO many times on Slack, just like everyone should be write to everyone. So I encourage that, but they don't start executing until I check the item. Not because I want to be the bottleneck, no, because I know I see priority different. We just said that we zoom out, we see priority differently. For that person, they work on a project. For them, this is the highest priority on earth because this is what's in their hand. But I know this will coming out next year. It's not that important for now. We have something breaking in live right now. I don't want my team member to drop that thing crashing in live to focus on something will be out next year. And we have that insight. So everyone can speak with anyone, but no work will be done unless I check that to make sure they are focusing on the right things. And if you want to be a good producer, just want to highlight this. Offer your team the priority list. Give it to them. Let them, if they got 2 items from outside related to different roadmap items, they have the list. Use list, don't use anything else. Because if you use anything else, you will have 2 items on the same prior. Then nothing is important. I use Jira timeline because it's just a list, and in the list doesn't allow you to have 2 items. So let's say Android render refactor, and they got 2 items. They look at the list, okay, Android is more important, so they pick that one. So they don't even to ask me in this cases. So in some cases, you can just give them the tool to evaluate. Some cases, you need to be the one who's do the final call. Great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have a question from Vasil on the chat.
Yeah.
How much influence had the CEO of the company over production vision? And generally, how often do you interact with company members from higher positions? Game director can be also considered also as somebody who also has a high impact over the vision of the product. So I can share how it works in terms of, CD Projekt perspective. The main decision maker on the project is a game director. So the person, he has or she, we have game directors males at the moment. So he is making the final decisions in terms of the vision. So whatever is happening, the final call is always on the game director. So there are of course meetings with the board when we are presenting the process, but I think there is a lot of trust in the vision and what we are presenting to the board. And how it works with in your case, Ali?
Same. I mean, it depends on the size of the company. If it's AA, AAA. So sometimes if you work with the AAA with like multiple locations, speaking with C level will be tricky because, to be honest, like it depends where are you in the hierarchy. And that's hierarchy. It's not always a bad thing. I did work for 55,000 employees company. And I've seen, when I look at myself in the hierarchy, I was like way down. But that's how you manage big companies and massive companies. So it depends where are you. But I've seen companies are getting way, way more open to allow everyone to express their feelings with different ways of communication. It doesn't need to be in a meeting with the C-level to express. We do have a week where everyone can shoot any ideas and present it to the entire company. So we did find the ways to create that kind of interaction. Doesn't need to be in the meetings. And of course, I fortunate enough to had like a lot of meetings with the C-level, with the board members. It's so friendly environment, but I'm talking about our case and working in Sweden. It doesn't need to apply in different countries or different, just different between cultures and multiple factors. But overall, my experience was perfectly good. I felt like I can just share my ideas and anyone at the company can do that. Thank you for the question. We have a lot of people asking, are we going to Gamescom? Anna, are you going to Gamescom?
No, sadly not. But I hope you are going.
I'm going to Gamescom, friends. If you are there, you will see me by Nintendo booth. I will be sleeping by the. So I will be Gamescom. If you see me, recognize me, the hat, the T-shirt, please stop me, say hi. I would love to chat with you. If not, on LinkedIn, feel free to connect anytime. Just write to me that you're coming from this webinar. There's a question I really like that as a senior TV music industry professional with experience in, hear me out, Anna. Agile experience or methods, check. KPI management, leading large cross-functional team. What advice do you have to transition to game production?
Oh, you have all the skills.
Exactly, all of
So,
them.
I would recommend to try. And I'm definitely, I'm pretty
100%.
sure that you will find your place. And could you remind the beginning is audio person?
Coming from experience in TV music.
TV
industry.
music. And I'm pretty sure that it may be very helpful for the audio producer, let's say, role. And there might be
100%.
a lot of, experience. I've seen recently the link, the offers have been popping up on LinkedIn. I think this might be very helpful because it's the whole package.
100%. Everything you said is what makes a good producer. Like, this is the skills we need. In my opinion, if you want to be more attractive, do a game design course, 6 months, Coursera. I shared a lot of those free resources if you don't want to pay. Make a game, and that will increase your chances and show that, because that's what I did. I said, I don't have a gaming experience. I have a tech experience, but I made a game myself, 6 months. Then like, that's interesting. So making a game, there's a course. It's one of my, I will share a post with you where I list all the steps. What kind of skill set do you need? You know what? It's a very nice collection of things. I'm gonna give it to you right now in the chat. So please take a look. Thank you, Anna, for answering. Thank you for the question. How much time do we have? Oh, we're over time, Anna. If you like this, if you like what me and Anna did, write in the chat so we can do it again. But it needs to be a lot of chat, plus you guys write. So should we take one last question, Anna?
Yes, let's
Do you have time?
Yeah, I can stay a moment. It's quite, exciting to be with you here and discuss all those things.
Thank you, likewise. That's a really easy question to answer. About game production roles. Does English remain the main English used in teams, or would you need to choose the local or the native language of the country?
We at CD Projekt, we are English first, a company which is English first. I'm not sure how in your case, Ali.
Same. You see two Swedish people in the room speaking English, so it's too English even. So yeah.
Now, finally, I can add something. The same in
Yes, please do.
So just in case somebody is wondering, English is the language.
Perfect. English is the language that everyone is using. And now, guys, I have the link in the chat in here. I listed how to join the gaming industry step by step. Each link will take you to a million links. So sorry about that, but it's comprehensive. I've written resources, steps. And as our friend, the producer in the audio TV music, sometimes you're ready, just you need to apply. That's it. You just need to know what to apply for, but you cannot do that until you know what is there for you and what we name it, and you need to read some job ads. How much technical knowledge is necessarily in understanding, and so what basics, if it is for the course. Okay. As Anna mentioned, games, after all, it's a software. Despite what of course, the fun element, there's a million factors, it's complicated, it's a lot of love in it, story, narrative, but end of the day, it's a software. And a lot of software development methodology and cycles apply to it. If you know that, if you know how to develop a software cycle where you develop, you test, you write requirements and iterate, that helps you to manage teams, especially when it's cross-functional or it's in technology. There's a book called Inspired. And this book shows how to build good tech product. So I would say this book is pretty good because there's no technical. Maybe you should write a book, Anna. Do you believe I should write a book about how to become a technical producer?
That would be a good direction. I'm pretty sure there are not enough materials about this topic.
No, the gaming that's the issue with the gaming industry. Am I sending to one person the whole time? I'm writing actually I've been writing to Maximilian. I've been sending to Maximilian everything.
Max, you're
VIP
Max,
you're being VIP treatment. So here's the link for all the resources and the book. So yeah, here's the Max. It was like a VIP treatment. He got only the resources. Cool.
Yeah, I've been also asked about the book that I've been recommending earlier. I will post it on the chat in a second.
Oh, that's a good question. Meeting players' expectation. So how do you handle the pressure of delivering a better games where players have high expectation because the previous game was incredible? For example, The Witcher.
Oh, it's a very challenging thing. And I feel like it's something we had with CP. It's really hard to work with people's expectations, especially if you are releasing something for the very first time, and everyone is imagining it a bit differently. And I'm pretty sure it works the same with every new product that you're launching. That it's always a risk whether we meet the expectations or not to introduce the players. So I would say that introducing them to the game demos or, allowing this is what is quite popular recently, the early access that is changing the game and the trends. So, and this gives a lot of feedback. So that would be a way, and definitely listening to the players. And we may, as I said previously, not agree with all the feedback, but we do the games for the players. So we need to keep their perspective in mind. And we can believe in certain things. This is why we do not agree with the feedback. And if we want to be innovative, we sometimes need to challenge the status quo and introduce the things that may be accepted or not on the market.
100%. Really great answer. We use data sometimes to build familiar things. So we use data and see what could work for the players and when reacting to feedback. But guess what? Sometimes we're building something there's no data for. Sometimes we need to go a bit crazy and create things that we believe in the vision. And as soon as it hits, the players hate something unfamiliar. It's a struggle for us. Every time we do a change in our game for the better, they riot for like 2 days or a second, then it just calm, then they just accept it. Remember this, humans resist change despite the change, how it looks like. This is psychology. And that's back to what makes a good producer. You need to understand how human brains even work. So you need why they perceive it this way and why they stopped complaining about it, because it's being afraid of change and resisting it. So sometimes you need to tell, is it a truly feedback we should react to, or just resisting change? It will change in a couple of days, so we don't need to react to. And experience will help you to distinguish in between.
Ali,
yes.
It's really hard to interrupt your flow with Anna, but I think we will be slowly wrapping up. I feel tempted to dedicate you Frank Zappa's words that each new idea has the aspect of foolishness in it. I think Frank Zappa was the one who said it, apropos your changes in your game. My biggest regret is I couldn't follow, guys, your flow, because I had so much work on the chat today. It's crazy, really. But from the previous webinars, I could attend with at least one ear. My last question is that we hear out Akash and his question, because he was holding his hand frozen for like 15 minutes.
Oh, Akash, we didn't take. Oh no.
Yes,
Okay.
he's asking me.
Akash, when no one leaves, stay in here. No
Akash,
one do anything.
Now you have
I'm gonna
two
ask you to
questions
unmute.
if you want.
Participants, stay. Akash is asking.
Floor is yours,
Yes.
Akash.
Yes, so hello guys, I'm Akash, working as a junior producer for a mobile game. Now I wanted to understand the mindset of a AAA producer and how I get into that. And my second question is, how do you manage and coordinate between different departments to ensure cohesive game development?
Okay, so in terms of the
you take the AAA one. I take the second one if you want.
I was thinking about the mindset, but I think we can share, the answer. So for me, be courageous, be ambitious, set the goal for yourself, and be super organized. Those are the things that I would say the producer has. Ali?
100%. The big difference between indie, you will be wearing a million hats. We know that. You will program, you will be doing some PR, some LinkedIn marketing, and some everything. So you wear multiple hats. You go to AA, the scene will change. You go to AAA, your mission will be a lot zoomed in. So a lot more like, if you look at when DICE, our colleagues at DICE, we say hi to them, they have like hard surface artists specialized in weapon or rock. Like this is it. It's like, so it will be different. So the amount of things you can change in a small organization versus massive ones. So coordination will be a big challenge. The complexity, guys. If you never worked in the gaming industry, if you're being a player complaining about any of our products overall, you will know what does it mean to build a game. If you don't know it, try to build a game this summer with Unity. They have a very amazing program where you can build a game in 5 days or something. It's a very mini game. You will understand how hard it is. Then you can imagine a big scale. So the complexity is unmatched. And coordinating between those big giant, and when time zone is not in your favor, then you see the real struggle. So my big tip, if you want to transition or to show that you can do that, you need to show that you have mastered the art of communications and removing bottleneck without the need of you. And I have a golden rule for you. It sounds ridiculous when I say it, but that's how you are upgrading and leveling up your career. Make yourself not needed. Then you are actually ready for your next step. Some people hiding and some people are afraid. If I expose all the knowledge, all the tools, they don't need me anymore. So they are afraid they lose their job. No, you are ready to step up to your next level. So I try to make myself as useless as possible. Put some record looms, like do this, do that, recording, documentation. Here's the list. You don't need me, guys. You can buy your own. Okay, I'm ready to be lead producer or production director, whatever. So when you show this kind of mindset in your interviews, you have what we need for AA and AAA. That's how I would do it. And I know it works because a lot of my friends moved all the way around. And the fun part, you will see people from AAA go all the way to indie. And that's usually the end of your journey. So you will see it all. Awesome. And Akash, he's doing mobile. So money is doing good, Akash, right? I mean, from his smile, he's making good money. And I want to say something.
Yeah, I would add to that. It's also important to know how the process looks, because this will be very helpful for you in managing the dependencies and tracking those and nailing. And communication is definitely the key element in terms of resolving the impediments along the way.
100%. Thank you. That was really great question. Anna, we got a lot of people said we should do this again, and I believe we should. Exactly. I had a blast, to be honest.
Yeah, we could talk for hours, but I don't think everyone has time to listen to us.
I think we definitely need to repeat. There is a frequent question on the chat, when will be the next webinar? So guys, you did amazing. And the next one will be with Rio Underhill. So your colleague Anna from CDPR, senior producer, right? So stay tuned for this with our channels, and information will be all over the place, also on CDPR channels, who's supporting heavily in the communication. So we are grateful for this as well. Ali, words of wisdom. Anna,
yes,
wisdom.
Before, I need to say something. So first of all, thank you so much, all of you, to take time from your work. I saw some people, like, hopefully you didn't get any trouble. They were like sneaking in, listening, acting busy to listen to us. But I believe it's part of your job to get some insights. So thank you, all of you, to stick with us until the end, asking great questions, connecting with us. But I just want to big thanks to Anna. She's not only with us at this webinar, the whole material you saw, guys. I was with Anna for an amazing session. She took a look at every single entry, and she have access to all the details. So this course is not made by me or done by the industry collectively, that we believe people trust their skill set. So Anna, thank you so much, not only for today, Thank you for being big part of this course. It means a lot. So that, yeah, just want to say that.
We have a name for it, a godmother of the game producer course.
Yes, yes. They have for the dragons. We have it for the producer course. Let's go.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, guys. It's a pleasure to be with you. It's a pleasure to support Futuregames. I'm super happy that you appeared on the market and you are serving to our people, because this is only way for some of the people to enter the game industry, or it's opening a lot of doors. And the all collaborations with many great studio and the industry experts. I think this is amazing experience for everyone. And thanks everyone who joined today's webinar. It was amazing to answer your questions and see a lot of messages. I will need to come back to it and read it in peace, but thank you once again and have a great evening.
I'm also happy that we have the recording so I can rewatch it, watch what I missed from your conversation, guys. Thank you, Anna, once again for participating and ongoing support from you and your company. Ali, a blast as always. Anna,
thank you so much, Peter.
Everyone.
See you Gamescom, guys. Gamescom.
Gamescom, exactly.
Buy Nintendo booth, remember.
Look for this t-shirt.
Yeah, that's all going this.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah.